to rush them. But Lumu's bill, why are they rushing it? That is what is going to guide our deliberation today. My guests are already here. From the extreme end, I do have Mr. Tim Levy Pesa. Doesn't need much introduction on this show. He has been with us a number of times. As a matter of fact, he's a founder member of this dialogue. Good time, Mr. Tim. How are you doing today?
Thank you very much. Good morning to the viewers. I'm more than delighted to be here today with BTM TV. We shall always share the platform with educating our own populace on some of these things that either are lifting us or letting us down as a country. I'm just a happy man today being here with you.
A pleasure having you. I'm also privileged to have Mr. Muzei Faizo. I still a spokesperson? PRO?
In our party quarters, we have, I am the head of media and communications.
Head of media and communications.
The party spokesperson is
from the Uganda is one of Uganda's oldest political parties.
Okay, independence political parties, and we are striving to bring back, to go back the values of independence, and so we also government in waiting. I bring you warm greetings from the party president, the Honorable James Michael Akenaobote, who has declared that in 2026 is going to stand for the presidency of the Republic of Uganda, and also is determined, and we are determined as UPC, to field candidates at all elective positions across the country. And we trust we shall give the people of Uganda the kind of service they deserve. The UPC means working for the people. People have tested what we are able to lay down for this country, the foundation we built in education, in health. So I believe there is no one who doesn't want, who wouldn't want to enjoy such services.
You're breaking big news to us when you say that Jim McCain is going to be contesting for presidency. For a long time, the UPC has not fielded a presidential candidate.
Yeah, we have been strategizing, because it's not just a matter of coming and participating. This time around in 2026, we are coming to compete. So you compete and win elections. And he has declared, we have done our ground, and we are still doing our mobilization. Is going to stand for the presidency of Uganda come 2026.
Won't this jeopardize your relationship you're enjoying with the ruling government now?
It's not a relationship. For us, we stand for the interests of the country. And whenever we go into elections, we go as UPC, as Uganda People's Congress. And he's a four-term member of parliament, right? Mm-hmm. And in every election, NRM has fielded the candidate against him, and it has been a competition. It has not been a landslide. So after the elections, what comes next is to work for the people. Maybe where people have not understood as well is that for us, we have tested all kinds of roughness from all angles. So we don't want to go back there. What we are on is in constructive engagements, dialogue, and consensus to ensure harmony and peace in our country. Because this is our country, Uganda, we must live in a peaceful country. So as UPC, we shall participate in every platform. We shall use all avenues available, all democratic and lawful avenues to ensure that our country can accommodate all of us, that there is a good democratic space. We know things are not well, but you're not going to solve them from outside.
How should one
participate? As you come on that, you recently watched what happened in Oyamos by-election.
I know.
That one
and I knew that's where you're
can't justify your statement.
Congratulations on that. Congratulations on that.
You know what happened in Dokolo.
I know.
That disapproves your scenario. Your assertion that jeopardizing the relationship. There's nothing like that.
But you also realize that your success is, is confined to only one area. And that's why when you said about your president, coming out to contest for presidency, yes. I'm like, do you feel you have spread your wings wide enough? Are you in every corner of Uganda like you used to be in the 1970s and 80s?
My brother.
But now you are in.
Election is not an event. It's a process, and we have been there. Maybe for you judging us on number of MPs, you're right. All our MPs we have are from Lango sub-region. That's what you're right.
That's what I meant to say.
But LOC chairpersons, we have councillors. We have, sub-county chairpersons. There are very many. Like for me, I come from Namutumba district. We have 4 elected leaders, councillors, on UP's ticket. So we have councillors across the country. But I must agree that every political party has got its stronger base. I want to agree with you that our stronger base is Lamu sub-region. And even other political parties, they have their stronger bases. So this is not a crime, and we shall consolidate on that to spread to other areas of the country.
I wanted to learn from you as the
Yes.
head of media
Yes.
communication at the UPC. How appropriately should one describe your relationship with the NRM? How should you describe it?
Ours is just an engagement for the common good of the country. And that's why it's the only UPC that has been at the forefront of championing dialogue, even in IPOD. When UPC was in the chair of IPOD, as the IPOD Council led by the Secretary General for the bill, and the IPOD Summit led by the President James Miko Akinobote in 2018, it's the only IPOD leadership that managed to, to cause a summit of president's seat. And in that summit, the country has benefited. Opposition political parties have benefited. Political parties with representation in parliament have benefited. How we used to get the political funding from government, it was at 10 billion. But because of that summit in 2018, it was increased to 35 billion. And all political parties are benefiting, including the National Unity Platform. It's benefiting from that, kind of engagement. I get him. So that was for the common good of the country. That now we don't want to interact foreign funding for our political parties. Can we increase on ours so that we can?
I know. Before you take me
so
there,
it's engagement.
I know.
Yes.
I've seen President Museveni, appoint some members of the UPC into his government, into his cabinet.
Yes.
To be specific, the first lady in the UPC,
Yes.
the wife to the party president is Mr. Jimmy Akena, Miss Honorable Among.
Yeah,
she has served in different cabinet, different portfolios
from
as a
lands.
minister. Sure. So that's the relationship I was talking about. If now Jimmy Akena came out and contested for the presidency,
Yes.
isn't this kind of going to ruin your relationship with NRM? And maybe we'll see her dropped in the next cabinet.
I want to emphasize the message of the party president, Honorable Jim Akena, that when it comes to elections, there is nothing like engagement. We go there as UPC. And the last time he was asked that very question, and my president said that Honorable Beta Among is one of the most senior leaders in UPC. She's almost she has been in parliament for over 4 terms. So she deserves the job. She's serving the country. Right now, even in last elections, there was a stiff competition.
If we were to go by that,
And
if
we
were to go by that,
yes, go to Oya.
then we would have
go to the city.
If we were to go by that,
Yes.
we're saying that the president appointing a minister
Yes.
is kind of rewarding her for her experience. But if we were to go by that, then what about the late Mama Cecilia Ogwa? We have had her serving in the government.
Once the president confirmed that he was consulted, you know that UPC we are across board in opposition, in the shadow cabinet. We have the Honorable Jonathan Odul. You know him? He's in the shadow cabinet of opposition in parliament. He's there. So the other side, when also they approached the president, the other side, and they allowed the honorable minister to serve the country, but not as NRM. She's serving there as an MOP, and she's in parliament as UPC. Right now, she has declared to stand for election in Lila City, on UPC ticket. Lila City, on UPC ticket. She's competing with the health minister, the Honorable Jane Luther Cheng. Honorable Betty Among Akena is also coming to Lila City, competing on UPC ticket. So that one, I think, it answers you. Even did you hear Dr. Tango Doi? They held a senior leaders meeting in Elango with the Right Honorable Secretary General of the National Resistance Movement, Right Honorable Kaduongo.
Richard Odong.
Yeah, Tanga said we have no business with UPC. We have no business with Honorable Minister Betty Among. So that one answers your question. It came from those you choose that we are with. For us, we are for the country.
You could speak like that after he's not the one who appointed her.
Yes, she was appointed.
He may not even know the interest.
And she knew that
President Museveni is looking at when he appoints.
He knew that
people.
he's UPC. And ever since they appointed her, this is the second term, not so. She has never left UPC. She has been standing, even if she's a minister, she has been standing on UPC ticket. So that one sorts our issues.
Maybe that's where the president wants her to stay, because when she's...
I asked you, I gave you a scenario that if it was the case, in Oyam North would have not fielded candidates against each other. Either UPC would say INRM take it, or INRM would say UPC take it. But it was a competition.
Mr. Faizo,
Yes.
some Ugandans are concerned,
Yeah.
especially, you see, senior, most of, UPC being a very old party,
Yeah.
it has a big section of its supporters who are senior citizens now.
Yes.
There's so much concern that the NRM has eaten up UPC. It has infiltrated. There are, much as we are seeing you, dressed in red, but inside there is yellow. They feel that the NRM has infiltrated you. Yes, you may come here saying
I don't know
UPC.
which lenses you're using to see.
No, it's not me saying. I began saying that the people are concerned. Like I said, that most of your supporters
Yes.
are senior citizens,
Yeah.
advanced age.
That's
They're like our party.
And they are naturally in gas.
The NUP, rather the UPC.
Yeah.
Everywhere UPC,
Everywhere you
UPC,
go.
everywhere.
Do you know the
That
meaning of
it-
everywhere? Everywhere means that our slogan where it came that when you go to Bujiri, you find the same hospital you find in Bujiri. It's the same hospital you're going to find in Kampala, in Nakaseke, in Itojo, in Itororo. It means that there is service for everywhere you can access what? Service for every people, everywhere, everybody,
I
everyone.
thought they meant support everywhere you go in Uganda.
UPC was a political party in a government to serve the people. So the slogan everywhere, that everywhere, everybody, everyone, that whenever, even if you're in Ibujiri, you can access the same medical health service the Kampala person is accessing. You could not need someone to make a referral from the village to Kampala. As it's happened right now, a manageable case at the Health Center 3 is being referred to Mulago. You wonder, everywhere, education will be everywhere. Equal opportunities for all, regardless of your status. That's what we were talking about.
Well, that is in the past.
But that's what we are coming to do.
We've not seen UPC at the forefront.
Yes.
Putting some resistance, put some defiance, showing that they're uncomfortable with the way the NRM is governing this country. Does that mean that you've been, in agreement with the way the government has been running affairs in this country? Because we've not seen you, like other political parties, opposition political parties, come to the front to oppose certain things. You are there seated comfortable at the Uganda House. You never come out to oppose anything. Are you comfortable with the way business is run in this country by the NRM?
Thank you so much. Since that I'm here, I can give clarification on such matters. Do you agree that we have different political parties registered with EC? Different political parties, right now there are about 30. Each political party, our goal would be, the end goal would be having a country that can accommodate all of us. However, the approach differs. Our approach of handling things is quite different from that of NUP, FD, CDP, and other political parties, and even NRM is different. However, we approach everyone. We are independent. Ours, if I say no, I don't need to jump over this table, and I say no. You understand? So our approach is constructive engagement. And during the Tojukwata, we said no, and we stood up to be counted.
Better Mongi wasn't with you.
Regardless, I'm not discussing the key tenants, but what I'm saying that
She's
our
a
approach,
senior member in the party, but
our
she
approach-
never
our
stood
approach-
and rejected the idea of
our approach of doing business is different. Ours is constructive engagement, ours is dialogue, ours is consensus. Much as other people's approach is defiance, it's okay, and we respect them. But for us, I don't need to carry a stone to beat you. That's why in 2026, even 2021, we are advocating for peaceful coexistence. We have peaceful elections before, during, and after elections. We are all brothers and sisters. I don't need to beat you. For us, we believe in ideas. We are part of ideas. So let us discuss. And our campaign is going to be issue-based. I don't need to shout at my brother. I don't need to call my brother names. But let us compete with ideas. At the end of the day, the common man, the voter, will see who has the best idea for them.
Okay.
So that's what we are on.
Mr. Otim Levy Akonapesa.
Yes.
The man here, Mr. Faizo Muze, has just broken the news to us that Mr. Ken Ajime is going to be on the ballot come 2026. This is a man who is at the helm of the UPC. And we believe that for the first time ever, President Museveni has enjoyed working with the UPC under the leadership of Jim Akina. We've not seen much resistance from the Uganda House. You can agree with me on that. Yeah. My concern is, where is this going to leave the good working relationship the NRM has always enjoyed with the UPC, to the extent that even the president appointed the Honorable Amongi, who happens to be the wife to his Honorable Juma Akena, into his cabinet. She has served in different portfolios. When Juma Akena comes and contests, Juma Akena comes and contests for the presidency against Museveni, is he going to continue extending such privileges to them? Isn't this going to, ruin their harmony they have enjoyed together?
So first of all, I would like to state something. You see, political affiliations always have their own clause, or rather agreements that bind them. More so, you have seen UPC coming together on a joint agreement with NRM, and then we also saw DP doing a protocol agreement or something to do with the bilateral agreement with DP, and all those agreements have led to the appointment of some of the key factors in those particular political parties into the NRM government. But one thing that we should know is that these other political parties have their own agendas. And the relation between UPC and NRM, I think, has been on for more than 5 years. I can say possibly coming to 10 years now. And you imagine that in the previous one, we did not see any candidate contesting for presidential, for the presidential seat.
I think for
But
the
rather
past
it was
three
on
elections.
No, for the two. No, two.
Two.
Yeah, from
The
2015.
last candidate
From
was
2016.
Yeah.
who never even turned out to vote.
Yes, from 2016 to 2021,
21.
we have not seen UPC participating in the presidential elections. And then you have seen NRM has been enjoying the votes, or rather I can say the privileges.
It has been sweeping Lango sub-region.
Yes, the privileges of Lango votes have all been on the NRM side. And if you're to do, there's been iPod dialogues going on, and that is where most political parties possibly had a chance to engage with the ruling government, that is NRM, on the manifesto implementation, and then what needs to be adjusted and so on. But we're also seeing that the iPod possibly could have led to another party joining the NRM, and that was DP. In that engagement,
iPod?
yes, in that engagement, when the president attended, I think the last one, he had a good, I call it a good exchange with both Jimmy Akena, the president for UPC, and then Norbert Mao. And that is why the relation began. You would see that Norbert Mao was not so aggressive on NRM like he used to be in the past.
What are you alleging?
So today,
are you alleging that President Museveni went through Jima Akena to bring Mao?
let me just put across my submission. Yeah. And you are seeing that Norbert Mao today is the Minister of Constitutional Affairs. Now, in the previous by-elections, NRM has lost twice to UPC. Mm-hmm. And that shows you the strength UPC has on ground. Some of us who go to the ground...
In Ilango?
Not even in Lango alone, even Teso, UPC still has ground.
Do they have any
leaders?
We have leaders.
We have
yes.
UPC has strong, loyal ground forces. Why I call them loyal is because
I want leaders. Don't tell me they support on the ground. Because
leaders.
Support, we are going to see support
when I talk about leaders, I'm talking about party leaders that are very loyal to the cause of UPC. And when you talk to them and interact with them, their main emphasis and focus is on how UPC, or how their founding father, I call founding father the Mzee Milton Obote,
the father of the nation.
The father of the nation has that grip on them that it is only him who had a proper agenda for Uganda. So seeing NRM losing ground in Lango region indicates what is happening currently. That we have the Honorable Minister of Gender crossing to Lera City to contest against the Minister of Health. And the Minister of Health is NRM. That is going to be the serious area of contestation. There's going to be a lot of focus on Lira. And anyone that emerges out of the Lira or that Lira city elections is going to have a grip on Lango region. That is one thing you should know. Anyone that emerges out of that election of Lira city is going to have a grip on Lango. And I don't want us to underestimate UPC. If NRM takes chances and underestimates UPC, possibly they are going to lose not only Lango, but they will even begin losing grounds naturally. Most of the NRM people that we have today, and I'm talking about the top leadership, at one point
originally
were UPC, including our sitting president.
And that's what I meant when I said that the NRM has eaten up.
Not eaten up.
You see,
the approach.
You see, one thing you should know, when Arap Moi took over power, I'm now using an example, Kanu ate into the political parties that had been created at that time. And because he was a very aggressive candidate, or rather aggressive, was a very aggressive presidential, president by then, most of the people that were into the other political parties had to cross to serve in his government. When Arap Moi stepped down as the president, people retreated. It was like a factory reset. That I'm serving in NRM, or I'm serving in Kanu, but my heart still belongs to the other point. And we have witnessed that severally. We have scenarios where people even tell you to the point. I was in Kumi one of the elections, Kumi district, and one candidate was saying that for me I'm eating from NRM, but I'm sleeping here in a particular political party. So you find that every individual.
That was a contested, by-election, which in
That's
UPC.
Yam North.
Yes, this was Oyam.
Yam North.
So you imagine that even with a by-election that NRM took every type of apparatus to do campaigns, still UPC managed to defeat them there. So I'm using an example that you see, should there be anything, UPC that has a strong foundation and even has an establishment, a structure that is still, could be staggering, but is still there in existence, running, possibly is going to attract people. One is that UPC for a long time has been considered as a political party for elders, for the older people.
That's right.
And no young people, you see, don't say any young generation advocating for UPC. But currently with the desperation that is there in this country and the political crisis, don't be very surprised that people are going to begin focusing on other political parties. Because you're already seeing the rift between FDC. The other one is dying, another one is being created, and FDC getting divided thrice is already a weakling within them. They don't have any strength. I'm also told that the former presidential
but if the personalities who are making the other one stronger are the ones who want to initiate a new one, then why question the fact that it is going to be as strong as the other one?
Initially, we have had the Dr. Kiza Besje, who has contested 4 times in a row for FDC, and is crossing with very vital people that helped him in mobilization and then coordination. Now, if FDC is dying, and we have people like Dr. Wakida, Patrick, the one that comes, I think, from your region, also crossing, and then is getting affiliated to the NRM, then it shows you that FDC is dying. 2, there is a rift in NUP. The Mpuga function, then I'm told again the Senyonyi also is somewhere there with the very loyal people to those that believe in Senyonyi, and then there are those that believe in the departed president.
That's a huge allegation of making Mr. Tim.
Not a huge allegation. Some of us
the current leader of opposition, Joyce Senyonyi, is really...
No, some of us sit and get this kind of information.
There's no rift between the leader of opposition and the president.
The allegations are there, and you can always factor them in. And that is the same way Mpuga's allegations came about. From nowhere, we saw what happened.
It is something
now,
coming up for
if FDC...
deliberately to divide those people.
And then FDC and then NUP already have internal party conflicts going on, me have seen UPC has been very, very steady. There has been kinds of rifts where we have some, the founding is a foundation of
Foundation.
yes, taking the party president to court. But that was squashed. And if he's coming, it's something that I have had today, because I thought Jimmy Akena was not going to contest for president.
That's
but
why I
if
said
he's
that
coming,
the man has just broken big
yes,
news
but
here.
then if it is coming from within,
For a long time, we've been wondering that is he going to continue throwing his weight behind President Museveni?
no, but you see now, one thing is that if he's coming as a party president, then NRM has a very serious issue with the votes of Lango.
You think so?
Yes,
In Lango.
NRM.
And in terms of percentage, we are looking at the entire Uganda. What percentage does Lango constitute?
Don't talk about Lang alone.
Don't talk about Lango alone.
Talk about Acholi, Northern Uganda. Talk about Acholi.
You're saying that you're enjoying support. Are you saying that you're enjoying support in the whole of Northern Uganda?
We do have support.
And like I said earlier, the support you're talking about, I want to see translate into leaders. How many leaders do you have emanating from Northern Uganda, to be particular in Acholi sub-region?
How many leaders the NUP have?
We are talking about the UPC.
I'm also asking you.
We are talking
don't
about
talk
the
about
UPC.
leaders now.
You see, let me.
Because if you talk of support,
I don't want.
that we're enjoying support here,
I don't.
I want to see leaders.
I didn't want to go tribal.
No, we're not discussing. There are no tribal statements
also
here.
don't think that-
That's why we're discussing
no, that's one thing
regions.
that I didn't want to go tribal. But then if you're looking at where is their biggest point of concentration? It's Buganda region, Central region.
You know, like he said earlier. No, just a second.
hold on.
There's
Like
a
he
point
said
you're missing.
earlier. Like he said earlier, where a party, where the founder members, are born, where they emanate from, that tends to be the concentration area of that particular party.
That's
So
what I'm telling
that's
you.
why you won't be surprised to find the NRM enjoying big support in Western Uganda, because that's where the party president emanates
Yes,
from.
but I'm also telling
Don't be
you-
surprised to learn that the UPC enjoys much support from Lango sub-region, because that's where the founding father was born. Same thing applies to all political parties.
Yes, I'm trying to tell you this. You see, you talk percentages, but I wouldn't want to put it in form of percentage, because UPC is a party that has existed way long. Possibly you're talking about 40 years or something plus. And then
60.
60 years.
From
Party
1960.
from 1960.
60 years. And it still has...
Wasn't it 61?
1960.
1960.
Yeah, so we are 63.
So,
Coming
64.
from the UNC, Uganda
Yes.
National Congress.
So it still has its very strong structures that were created by the founding members intact, and they have never been tampered with. Now, if you're looking at possibly saying that the founding members are from Northern Uganda, that is where NRM is going to have a challenge from, and any other political party. Why NUP thrived very well in Lango is because they did not have any other alternative
Nope.
to put there at the moment.
Nope in Lango?
There are times
They're doing well?
there are some
For the
districts-
presidents.
Yes, for presidency.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, if Jimmy Akena is going to come and contest as a president in that particular area, first of all, he needs to own Akokoro where he comes from. That one there, you don't even touch. That one's already a red zone for UPC. Talk about other regions. They are coming into the city now, Lera City. There are already candidates that have been fielded for Yam, for Nyoya. There are candidates that are being fielded for even other areas. I was in Omoro. There are candidates that are coming in the neighboring.
And how do they
districts.
perform?
But their performance is okay. You interact with the people there, but they have love for UPC. It's natural love.
The performance I'm talking about is these people, are they voted for? Do they ultimately win the election?
When
You see, Otim, it's one thing.
You see,
it's one thing
it's one
saying
thing- it's one
that
thing
you're
to-
enjoying support in an area, and it's another for you being voted for.
It is one thing to sit
So if you're
here.
telling me support,
it is one thing to sit
I've
here.
not seen that support
No,
translate into
it is
elections.
one thing to sit here in Kampala, and we shall argue over this. But if you got on ground and interacted with the people themselves, is where you get results. And that's what I do. Whenever I'm in a particular place, I take time to interact with the leadership and also the 190. And that's how I get facts.
Mr.
I'll
Mzee,
never come to TV or to public.
you're
and
optimistic
speak about
that
what I don't know.
you're optimistic that the UPC is going to put up some good competition in the
Very
2020 election.
competition, and we are determined to win the joint.
Do you feel that you have enough support in Western Uganda? Where UPC, by the way, originally used to enjoy support in Western Uganda?
Let me make
I remember words like when I was growing up, words
let
like
me make
Twalire.
this clarification.
All those words were attached to UPC. Have you heard words such like Twalire?
Those songs are there. Kauro, Kauro,
So
Kauro. Those
that
are
is
the
how
songs.
much the UPC was
Uganda
enjoying.
Congress.
But right now, I'm very sure you can traverse
Mwonge.
Western Uganda,
Mwonge, there is this clarification.
and you may not find someone of my age,
Mwonge, let me give you
being
this
a
information.
member or a supporter or even a sympathizer
In Zoroto,
of the UPC.
Mwonge, the opportunity you have.
In Teso, we have a young team of UPC diehards. And at one point, I've interacted with them. I've tried to convince them.
You just
We
said those
even
things
have the deputy
you're saying those
speaker.
things to appease
Yeah, no,
Muse.
no, no,
The
no,
I
deputy
don't know.
speaker of the division.
Yeah, but I've just met Muse today. I've never
You say
met
that to
him.
appease
we have never, no,
But
we have never met.
We have a boy called the Congress. He's called Omiat.
Andrew. There's a-
Andrew. You see, you know
and
this
Pasco Amriat.
And Pascal Amuriat.
Carry on, Mr.
We have
Muse.
very many.
And Pascal Amuriat contested, by the way,
In
the
the
by-election
recent
and
by-election.
also- Yes, for under UPC ticket.
Carry on.
Now, there's one clarification I wanted to make. We didn't field our candidate in 2026. No, I mean in 2016. Reason for us, 2016 first, we had a national council. That said, right now we don't have our bases are a bit weak, and even as we have a lot of challenges. So we are considering that how about if we first concentrated on the parliamentary and the local government, so that we do our farm ground well. And we did that. So we were meant to field our candidate in 2021, but you know how that campaign was held. We were under COVID. We were not prepared enough. COVID from right from 2020 in March. So we were not prepared enough. There is no way you could. And our campaign as UPC is we reach the people. That's our campaign. We go on ground, interact with people. So under such circumstances, we say that let us ride on the resolution of the National Council of 2015 to not feel that, to concentrate on our team, on parliamentary and local government. And we achieved much. We increased our number of representation at local council, sub-county chairpersons, we have very many. Sub-county councillors, we have very many. District councillors, we have a pool. The LC5 chairpersons, they are very few, but we have. Division mayors we have, and MP we have. And my brother just give you his testament, his testament that we are there, even given the recent election. So don't underestimate us that we are just in the language.
I'm not underestimating
I
you.
agree that, just let me finish this point. I agree that language is our base. But recently we had a big mobilization in Kitugum, actually. It was a very big mobilization. I mean, we had
Just in the neighborhood.
Yeah, it's actually we had one.
You see, what I'm saying, what I'm raising, Mr. Faizo,
I'm counting you the area where we have the base.
Allow me in just a second.
Yes.
Why I'm raising this, in fact, I want you to look at this as a challenge. I'm challenging the UPC, which at some point in time you enjoyed supporting Western Uganda. You enjoyed supporting Eastern Uganda. But now someone traverses the entire region and you're not known. You should take this as a challenge.
Do you appreciate
see how you can go back and you reclaim the support you used to enjoy?
Yes, that's where we are going. And the president, immediately after Yam North, he launched the National Countrywide Mobilization Tour of the president. In a patch, Bomber Grounds, he launched. And he has been traversing. We were from Apache, we went to Amrata, so we were going to Chigezi. We lost the MP for Dokoro. May her also rest in peace, the Honorable Cecily Ogwal. So now, that Dokoro also gave us a chance to test whether our mobilization we were doing was bearing any fruits. And you saw the fruit. That our mobilization was bearing the fruit in Dokoro.
We're about to take a break, but before we take a break, I want to ask about this. Just a second, Mr. Tim. This is important. Yeah. Before I take a break, I want to point this out to Mr. Muse. I have my friend here, friend of the media, by the way, not only us here at BTM, Joseph Ochieno. First of all, the current leadership of the UPC is under contest. This man, it is under contest?
No.
Ochieno here, every time I host him here, the other day almost got to my neck.
What?
He wants me to introduce him as the party president of the UPC.
Has he ever stood in an election? Show me.
That's why he says that he won that election.
Which election? You're a media person. Tell me which election did he participate in? There is no political party election you can participate. I mean, you can organize.
What's your perception of Joseph Ochieno? No. First of all, as the UPC.
You're a senior journalist.
Your current perception of Mr. Ochieno.
As a senior journalist, tell me which election did Joseph Ochieno participate in for the party presidency? There's no political party that holds party presidential elections in silence. FDC we knew. DP we knew. UPC, we knew it happened. NUP, we knew. NRM, we knew.
Have you ever held
For
elections on Zoom?
I am asking
Have
you.
you ever? No,
No,
you're,
no,
you're
no,
head
no.
of media
Yes.
and communication.
Yes.
I'm also raising this
I
question.
mean, I am not aware
Have
of an
you
election.
ever held elections?
No, we
of
don't,
the
we
UPC
don't
on
elect
Zoom?
party president in the media.
Have you?
We don't,
On
in our party
Zoom?
constitution, don't elect party, I mean president in the media.
Because he's not the only one. Have you heard of Mr. Wadubidi?
I know him.
He also claims to be
He's a
the
senior lawyer, I know
he
him.
also claims to be the elected president of the UPC.
Where was he elected from? Your senior journalist tell me.
But
You inform the country.
But I'm not seeing UPC.
But
delegates possibly.
why I pointed this out to you as we take a break, Mr. Faizu?
It was
But yes,
2021,
but
2020 in the Kasangati.
Yes.
That's so the party president.
What's your perception of these two senior members of the UPC?
I mean, I don't have any personal
Not you
issue
per
with
se,
them.
the entire party, the UPC. What's your perception? The
Me,
UPC's
as far as
perception
I
of these
know,
two?
such
Mr. Walubidi and Mr. Cheno, Joseph.
no, for us we are focused. We are not going to allow people who are
Diverted
not
you.
for the interest of the party to divert us from our mission. If they want to come to work together for the common interest of the party is free for all of us. Even if you wanted to be a member, you can also come and be a member. Even if my brother, it's open.
I should host you one day with Mr. Joseph Cheno.
It's okay, but what I'm trying to, the point I'm trying to emphasize that
The dialogue takes a break. When you
let us
come
not
back,
confuse people.
when you come back, we're going to check the debates and we're going to be discussing our national issues. Why we discuss
Bring
the
us
UPC
footage.
in the first segment is because Mr. Faizu here
I challenge you to bring
broke to us
footage
the
where
news.
those people were elected as presidents.
Where he claims that he won the election. That he
You bring
organized on Zoom.
footage, you senior journalists, bring footage.
Did you ever organize an election via Zoom?
No, our only organ. No, for Zoom. How
Constitutionally,
can that be
organize
allowed?
elections via Zoom.
Let's take a break. When we come back, we're going to discuss national issues, including the ultimatum the
You
CDF,
should challenge him to
General
provide
Mosgene
evidence.
Rugaba, gave to the American envoy to Uganda. That is Mr. Pop. He's accusing them of working against the NRM, and this is not called for. He should apologize by Monday, all quit, and go back to America. We'll take a break. The dialogue continues shortly. Don't go away.
Uganda, your #1 leading education newspaper, is back, bigger and better. With articles to fully suit the educational triangle from the government, schools, and parents all over the country, aiming at answering the ever left out questions, not forgetting revision questions and answers set by experienced teachers to prepare students for their finals. The Lana newspaper is supplied to over 12,068 schools all over the country with affordable advertising rates. We offer many more services which include uniform and sweater tailoring, all with an aim of easing work for the education. Contact us on 0754 777 029 or 0774 621 539. Email us on info@lananews.com or visit our website at www.lananews.com. You can also visit our offices at City Center Complex, Room J15, 4th floor, along Loom Street. The Lana, prioritizing education.
Don't miss on BTM. Abazannyi ab'enjawulo omuli Mr. Bruno, Ice,
njagala kubeera nzekka naye lwaki onnemera
ono nga yajja kutawaanya na kumenyamenya famire. Kati leero ogenda kulaba gyobuse. Byonna wano ku BTM TV kujja birabira mu The Obsessed. Sit back and relax with BTM. We transform.
with us. You're still watching The Dialogue. My name is Ederisa Muwonge, here with my guests. Mr. Faizo Muze is the head of media and communications in one of Uganda's oldest political parties. In fact, a party which ushered us into independence. That is the Uganda People's Congress. Speak of independence, next week, I think it'll be on Wednesday, when Uganda is going to be celebrating 62 years of existence as an independent, as a sovereign state. But is it sovereign? We shall cross that bridge when we get there. I also have Mr. Tim Levi Akona Pesa. He's a political analyst, also with me in the studios today on this edition of the Dialogue. Now, there's this message I wanted to read from the U.S., which they released. It was this very week, which actually may have prompted General Muhoozi Kainerugaba to take action, do what we are about to discuss. The U.S. mission in Uganda, they released this information, and it reads, the Department of State is taking action today to promote accountability for human rights violations committed in Uganda by designating 4 members of the Uganda police force due to their involvement in gross violations of human rights, namely torture and cruel, inhuman or degrading treatment or punishment. These individuals are Bob Kagarura, the then Wamala Regional Police Commander of the Uganda Police Force, Alex Mwine, the then District Police Commander for the Mityana District of the Uganda Police Force, and Eli Womanya, the then Senior Commissioner within the Uganda Police Force and Deputy Director of the Uganda Police Force's Criminal Investigations Division in charge of the Special Investigations Units, and Hamdan Twesije, the then Deputy Inspector of Police assigned to SIU. Now, as a result of today's action, Kagarura, Mwine, Womanya, Twesije, and their immediate family members are generally ineligible for entry into the United States of America. The reports that Kagarura, Mwine, Twesije, and Womanya were involved in gross violations of human rights, as documented by Ugandan civil court documents, civil society organizations, and independent journalists, are serious and credible. By public designating these individuals, the United States reaffirms its commitment to advancing the human rights of all Ugandans and promoting accountability for those responsible for human rights violations. It continues. Now, it just took 3 days or more when we see a response from the CDF, that is the Chief of Defense Forces, General Muhoozi Kainerugaba, where he's asking the U.S. envoy to Uganda, Mr. Pope, to apologize to Uganda, or particularly to the president, Yoweri Kaguta Museveni. He's saying that these people are frustrating the work of the NRM. He's giving him an ultimatum of how many days? Because it runs up to Monday. He should either apologize or pack his bags and go back to the United States of America. He's daring the U.S. envoy to pack bags and leave Uganda. Never seen this anywhere in the world. Mr. Tim, I should start with you. Please educate me. I've never seen anybody threaten the mighty, the hegemony, the United States of America to apologize. They have a saying, when I was a kid, and I still do, enjoy American movies, Hollywood movies, where they send one commando, attacks the Vietnam and kills all of them and comes back alive. Now they have a slogan where they say that the American government does not negotiate with terrorists. With the American government, bend and apologize to Uganda.
You see, it's one funny thing to have possibly us consider a conflict with the United States. And of course, United States being among the G8. And of course, those that are among the top the decision makers in global politics. And then also, constitutionally, their laws are encrypted in the international law. So for us, being considered as a third world country, and then our members, now this is international relations, our members coming out to open rebuke, or rather try and put up a very serious, I call them serious, 10 statements against one of the economic game players in global politics and even global economics. It raises a very serious challenge for us as a country. And I think I'm not going to be, I'm not biased, Bwana Mwange, but I think our own has to find a way of mending relations between him and the ambassador, because one thing that we don't want is to jeopardize bilateral ties that we have with the United States. And I think one thing that we need to know, if you were to keenly observe where United States has always had conflicts of interest, or rather has had a kind of a scenario where things are not politically aligned, you have always seen what has happened. So the general, the CDF, coming out strongly, first of all, to rebuke the ambassador for what we all don't know, or rather the obvious reasons possibly could be for condemning our own police, members within the police force for human rights violation. First of all, you indicate that the United States has always come very strong on anything concerning human rights. And it has not been this very one. We have had the scenarios where even the former director of CMI, now the DS, I think the DCI or something.
So many officials in Uganda's security forces have had sanctions slapped on them by the US.
Including our own Speaker of Parliament.
Yes.
But I have not seen scenarios.
For her, she was, okay, for her it's a different case.
It's a different case, yes.
But these ones, like you
more,
said, like you said, when it comes to human rights, concerns,
United
the
States
US
is strong on them. I think because democratically, it is what governs them as a state. Of course, I can't tell what is in the United States. I'm speaking based on experience we have in the country.
And we are talking about also no. Let me first say this as well.
Yes.
You see, we also talk about a country which initiated, the Guantanamo Bay, which is the center of gross human rights violations in the whole world. I mean, we could give so many examples, but I don't want to go there because of time. But what we don't understand here is what could have prompted the CDF. And I want to emphasize that word, the CDF. His title more than his name. We are talking about a chief of the defense forces. Okay? Threatening, because this is a threat. When someone tells you that if you don't do this, this is a repercussion. I think that's what they call a threat. Just telling him, you either apologize or you pack your bags. And we are wondering that could this be stemming from the fact that the US came out and penalized these officials from the Uganda police force that I just mentioned. And why now? Because they're not the first of their kind to be punished by the US over human rights violation. Why now?
You see, one thing that I don't want is to preempt what is already on public, what is already in public. The CDF has openly come out and rebuked possibly the actions of the ambassador. And then we don't have an official statement from the US mission. That is the embassy.
They have up to Monday.
They have up to Monday to respond to his tweet, because it's not an official letter indicating, but it's a tweet. Now, you have always seen controversies where the CDF openly tweets and then it spikes, and then 1 minute when you go and check, it's not there. Possibly it has been deleted or something. And then a situation is harmonized. So this escalating issue, we don't want to jeopardize the relations we have with the United States. And the United States is funny. Any attack on any of their members or other senior governing, officials is an attack on them as a nation.
Well, Tim, I want to remind you of something. You remember when the same person you talk about, the General Moses Kainerugaba, came out and tweeted and said that we could override Nairobi in just, was it 2 days? It didn't take a whole day for his father, our beloved president of Uganda, to come out and apologize to Kenya to also
But you saw the
also
former president of Kenya, Uhuru Kenyatta, come, and then William Ruto come and then sit with him.
I'm coming.
And I think
But it did take so long for the president to come out and pronounce himself in that matter. This time round, I think after this tweet happened, it's more than 24 hours now.
It's more than 24 hours. But
And we've not seen anybody come.
He tweeted it over the weekend. The one night towards Saturday and today's weekend, most government offices are not functioning. So I don't want to indulge in one thing. But I know the president possibly should be handling this issue, because one thing that we don't want is to have issues possibly with a country that is giving us lots of aid. We have 1 billion shillings directed towards, I think, the fight against malaria.
You think General Mos doesn't know that?
Yeah, he knows, but
he doesn't know the price we're going to pay by ruining our relationship with the US.
There's even a scenario where he came strong on the US when it was scrapped off the AGOA.
Yes.
I think at the AGOA scheme or something.
You're right. That was also a threat.
Yes,
it was like
that was also a threat.
He mentioned Somalia somewhere.
He
That they
also
should even
mentioned Somalia.
compensate for the loss of our officers in the UPDF.
Yes, but government, they have been getting lots of money.
And we never got a response from the US, by the way.
USA, I think, he has also observed that we cannot be responding to things that are not official. Why I'm saying official is that if someone tweeted, possibly it's his own opinion. It is on his platform. And it is
These
what
things I've been
was
reading,
suggested.
and all the previous messages about sanctioning, the US has always communicated via Twitter. They've never had a press conference.
You see,
How come you've
one
never
reason-
questioned?
One reason that
You've never questioned whether they're genuine or not.
One reason that we have media personnel or communications, or we have the PR department, is to put these things in a formal way. And anything that the United States has posted on their social media platforms is always accompanied with a written document indicating with signatures appended. So whatever the CDF posted, I think is in his own opinion, because it was on his Twitter, and he did not post on an official date. Uganda has official dates from Monday up to Friday. This was posted over the weekend. So I am yet to. It was posted off official hours.
Meaning you're not yet convinced that it is
We
from
are
the
not
man himself.
we are not convinced, because you see, by the time we are going hard on USA, possibly there's a Cold War that is breeding somewhere, and we don't know about this.
Mr. Mose, this is something serious, like he said. We should all be concerned about, because this may jeopardize our diplomatic ties with the United States of America. And if you fairly look at these two countries, you can clearly tell that one benefits more from the other than the other benefits from the other. We benefit from the United States a lot. We've seen a number of programs here, projects being supported by the United States of America. You just mentioned malaria. Health. Well, look at health. These guys have restored with Uganda. Mr. Mzee, take it up. What could be the repercussion of this? The man gave them up to Monday to either apologize or pack their bags and leave Uganda.
On the aid they are giving to a particular country, because before that there is a sovereignty of the country as he elected. However, we have, by the moment you have an ambassador and you have an embassy in such a country, it means that there is bilateral arrangements. You have a working relationship. So for me, what I would emphasize in this case is that let us take advantage and use of our concerned agencies. Like in this case, we have the Minister of Foreign Affairs. Even you have the Fountain of Honor himself, the President is.
We'll leave it to them?
No, what I'm saying that we need to take advantage. We need to formalize the process. So I'm not going to comment much on it.
In that tweet, why? Just a second. I'm going to allow you.
Before I forget this,
Allow him.
To add on to what my colleague has said, anything, you see the statement we have on the screen,
He's calling upon Ugandans.
is calling upon.
He's saying that we are about to have a confrontation. Fellow Ugandans. He's not talking to the security agency. He's not talking to anybody. He's talking to you and I, who are Ugandans. And he's warning us. He's preparing us for a serious confrontation against the hegemony
Let me ask you,
of the world.
what is the why we have Minister of Foreign Affairs?
Foreign affairs.
As Minister of Foreign Affairs, it's one that is in charge of any foreign policies that are governing this country, this sovereign state that we're in Uganda. Now,
He should have channeled his grievances through them.
CDF, he should have as a CDF, then also with also CIC. I see there were also some powers accorded. Him as a CDF should have channeled this through the Minister of Foreign Affairs. Now, if you are pulling up this statement, you are giving Minister of Foreign Affairs a very big challenge on how to tackle this issue. I'm speaking as one that has studied international relations and diplomacy, and I know what I'm talking about. Yeah, but also
This is a person who ought to know everything you're saying.
yes, but also you see,
We're
as a
talking about
person,
someone at the caliber of the CD
as a person that
who has gone through. We're also talking about, let me give you his history, because let's talk about other things.
Yes.
I don't want you to create an impression
yes,
that he is ignorant about this. We are talking about a man who helped us to reconcile with Rwanda. That was a diplomatic score
yes,
he got. We are talking about a man who has gone through various ranks. He's a general now.
he's training.
No, we are not ruling out of him.
Yes, we're not ruling out
We
the
are
fact
ruling
that
out the fact
we're not
that
ruling
he
out the fact that he doesn't know
So
that.
he
But then what I'm only telling you, or what I was asking you, as a land colleague, as an investigative journalist, what is the answers of us as a country, Uganda, having the Minister of Foreign
Foreign
Affairs?
affairs.
Minister of Foreign Affairs has 3 ministers. We have a cabinet minister, we have a minister in charge of international relations. That is the Honorable Okello Oryem.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
We have another minister in charge of East Africa affairs.
The Right Honorable Kadaga.
No. We have another minister. We have 3 ministers.
That's
in
the
Ministry of
Minister of Foreign Affairs. Okay.
Now, if you could involve them to discuss this at length with the U.S. ambassador, then it would have been something very much viable. But making a statement, and then now you are putting the Minister of Foreign Affairs on a very serious rift with their colleagues, because these united, or these embassies or these missions, diplomatic missions, and diplomatic corps have binding relations, protocol agreements with the Minister of Foreign Affairs. That Minister of Foreign Affairs works on behalf of the government of Uganda in handling these matters. So they're saying that there's going to be a confrontation with the U.S.
That's a
embassy.
huge word.
You don't want the United States. No. Let me tell you.
You don't want to dare the United States.
You rather have Middle East states or something on the other side of your, rather the left side, because me, I always consider the right side. Right, I mean the right side is always the right.
Mr.
Now, if you have a country like the United States on your left side, then possibly you're looking for problems. That's a country that is considered a third world.
Mr. Mzee,
Yes.
the commander of the defense forces of this country
Yeah.
is calling upon the citizens of Uganda to be prepared, because we are going to engage the United States of America. We are going to engage in a confrontation with the United States of America.
That is, as my brother said, that his opinion on his tweet out, on his X handle. But I want to emphasize that there are platforms through which we communicate this diplomatic work. Through which we emphasize. And
I think we already passed that. We shouldn't be done talking about.
No, all is not lost. Because if there is an issue, and now there is now work for Minister of Foreign Affairs. I'm not.
what?
I am not glorifying whatever has been done. And if there is anything wrong, for us, we believe in engagement. So what we need to emphasize to ensure that maybe we always follow our line of engagement in democratic, in diplomatic processes.
Yes, diplomatic processes.
Yeah, we
And
need
then
to
also
emphasize.
diplomatic corps.
But how did we get here? Did you, gentlemen, do you sit there and ask yourselves, how did we get at this point? Where Uganda, I'm looking at our size. Size in all aspects.
No, what we need to...
In terms of economy, in terms of military strength, in terms of everything, in terms of even geographical size. How did we get this stage that we can now engage?
I don't want us to dwell in negativity. But what we need to emphasize is that let us ensure that we communicate and cooperate in a proper way. And we ensure that our ties are intact.
My brother Mzee is a PR specialist. And anything to do with escalating conflicts. Anything
We are
that
doomed.
does confrontation of words. This is a Cold War, by the way.
Okay, let him tell us, Muse, tell us, how
Yes.
can this be reversed? Because where we are, the tweet we just read there, someone is calling you and I to be prepared for what is going to happen. We are going to confront.
Did you hear?
So
It
how-
was
how is-
yesterday.
how is this reversed?
I think it was yesterday. Yesterday was Friday, right? Yesterday or Thursday, we heard from the news that UK ambassador, the Uganda ambassador to UK was expelled.
Is being deported.
I mean,
from one
deported. Then, all along, we heard from the Ministry of Foreign Affairs that no, he's not deported, but actually, her term has elapsed. And, procedurally, it's good practice that they come back at the base, waiting for either deployment or what. And that was
Of late, have you been monitoring our foreign, affairs policies? I mean, or rather, the affairs of our foreign, affairs, departments. We have had the people, mostly ambassadors, being implicated in money laundering. One here in the Middle East was implicated in the, I think the casino was above his office, and it was doing money laundering. Two, the ones that are in West Africa, we also saw write-ups of them being implicated in money laundering. We had the one that was posted to Canada or something, the lady, who was deported because of, I think, misconduct. We have the ambassador of UK. Even if you're saying that their term is expired, still, of course, the country always has the way they do the renewals. And then we do it. So there is a crisis that we're seeing already happening within our own ministry, possibly our own foreign policy affairs. But escalating this with already existing factors that are on ground is going to cause us a very serious issue.
Is it reversible? Or it's too late for that?
It's
Yes.
reversible.
How is it reversible? Mr.
It's
Tim,
reversible because what? If the president himself, who's the head of state, came and engaged the Minister of Foreign Affairs.
and is mute on this, you realize?
But it's mute, but it's supposed to be a neutral factor.
Because I just gave an example,
But
Mr.
doesn't
Tim.
only work in the media, through media.
Mr. Tim, what I'm saying, gentlemen, it's not a long time ago when General Mosque Mugaba came out and threatened attacking our neighbors, Nairobi. It didn't take so many hours for the president to come out and apologize to our neighbors. He even, should they call it firing? Because that time he was the Uganda, the command of the land forces. Here, fired him temporarily, but also raised him in ranks. Now, this time round, he makes such a statement against, arguably, the world's most powerful nation. And it's more than 24 hours here. We've not seen the Ugandan authorities, through the president, coming out to clarify on this matter. Does that mean that they are doing this in agreement?
No,
Do they agree with him on what he's saying? And
see-
also bearing in mind, Mr. Tim, bearing in mind that this man gives the United States of America envoy to Uganda an ultimatum. That is by Monday. Monday is just one day away from today. He either apologizes or he packs his bags and leaves. And you don't see how serious this matter is.
I would want to see how Uganda as a country is going to push out the ambassador of the United States. And we deport him until he has reached the United States, and also make it officially, either through the office of the CDF or Ministry of Foreign Affairs, that we have deported your ambassador for violation of possibly the codes of conduct, possibly Uganda.
The reason of
And the
engagement.
reason of engagement, possibly the reason is this and this. I'm waiting for that moment. But I know it will never happen. Because as Uganda, I don't think we have enough balls with us as a state to do what we are doing here.
Because here you're talking about the
one
Ministry of
person
Foreign
works
Affairs.
out. If one
I heard
person-
both of you talk of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs.
And the
If it
minister-
was so much concern,
and the minister-
by now,
and the
they
minister-
should have
Hold
already come up with
The
a
Minister,
statement.
the Minister of Foreign Affairs,
But I'm mute about that.
the Minister of Foreign Affairs is a veteran politician. And he has also served in the same army.
General Abubakar,
General Abubakar
JJ.
Omo JJ.
Jejo Odong.
Yes.
Is a senior administrator or as a senior politician that has served in different documents.
Have you had this
Minister of
communication?
Internal Affairs.
It's now more than 24
I'm
hours.
going there. I'm going there. He has also served as a CDF in the same army. He has fought battles, possibly rebel activities in Teso, in Congo, and is a well-learned man. When you look at JJ, possibly keep quiet, that in 24 hours there's no statement, there's no official statement from Minister of Foreign Affairs. It indicates possibly they are not in the know of what is happening. And they are considering the tweets as opinionated, or rather, his own opinions. But then, as a government, you have to be very calculative when you're making statements. Any statement from any government official other than the CDF is going to be considered as an affirmative to what the CDF said. If Minister of Foreign Affairs comes in, should they make a statement right now? It's an affirmative backing on what the CDF has stated. That's why you're seeing them being very calculative with any steps, or rather what they are trying to do at the moment. But one thing we should know, a country that is as powerful as the United States cannot be threatened by mere words. And for them, when they put in a cause of action, it can become very drastic for any states. The late Muammar Gaddafi has tried that before.
We've already threatened them, haven't we?
And we were threatening them,
It's a
but
threat.
because if we are threatening them,
You're giving the US
and most of this
to apologize.
Muammar Gaddafi threatened them officially using his own government, apparatus. And he said, "Me, I would rather deal with this, and I'm not going to deal with so and so and so. I'm going to deal with the Middle East."
Why mentioning Libya?
You will not, but Libya.
Why mentioning Libya?
Libya faced action against the United States. It was a Cold War, and for them, that is what they are good at. They are good at fighting.
So you're advising us not take this
They
direction
are
as
good
Uganda.
at fighting clandestine wars. Right now, there's what they call the nuclear war affair, and Israel is the point of focus. Right now, Iran has also come and is becoming another point of focus. And this is war that's being created by generals, being created by people in security. Israel is bombing Hezbollah, is bombing possibly the Houthis in Iran, in Lebanon. In Lebanon, in Beirut, and then Iran responds with over 250 missiles, ballistic missiles,
Which are intercepted in sky.
Not intercepted.
They were.
Most of them cause
Israel?
Most of them cause damage because there's one airbase that was being used as one main operational zone by the United States was bombed, was put down. But that was an indication that you are killing people, but first we're going to destroy your infrastructure. Now, you don't want such a scenario in Uganda. You are saying that we are going to deport a U.S. ambassador. If it was a Kenyan ambassador, possibly an ambassador from Zimbabwe, Rwanda here, and so on, Uganda has one key regional player, Africa, in the African continent. We have the capacity to do that because here we are considering ourselves among the top shots in Africa. Global politics is different. If you want sanctions to be imposed on Uganda, it can happen. Look at what Zimbabwe did. The late Robert Mugabe woke up one morning and he declared an embargo on most of these foreign, the white settlers. What happened? The international community put sanctions on the United States. On Zimbabwe. You had Zimbabwe one man. Yes, you have one man carrying a wheelbarrow of money going to buy possibly cooking oil and then a piece of bread or something. Up to today, they have tried all processes to try and even back their currency with the dollar. With gold reserves and then precious metals. But they are facing challenge because there's a lot of inflation that is affecting them. One thing you don't want to do with the United States is to play what they call economic sabotage. They are very good at that. Anything to do with economic sabotage, they are very good at that. Anything to do with politics, of manipulation.
Whatever you're saying,
the United States is good at
you should be directing that to whoever is threatening the United States.
Let him direct that statement through the Minister of Foreign Affairs. Should have called for a meeting, for a high-level, security meeting, and then stated this is what is going to jeopardize our relationship. Try and dialogue with these people.
Mr. Mzee, from where you sit to stand.
International relations mostly is about dialogue, by the way.
I know.
Yeah.
Yes.
From where you sit to stand,
Yes.
what could be, pushing Mr. Mhoz to come up with such statements? And they are in the United States of America, like he said. Where does it come from First of all, to come up with such threats, and two, what pushes him? When he looks at Uganda, you know, like I said, when you compare us to the United States of America, in all aspects, I feel we should be the last country to threaten the United States of America, especially the envoys to our country.
I wouldn't speak for him because I'm not the police or I'm officer or either do I...
We are speaking about his speech, not...
Yes. No, what I'm trying to say that for me, as far as I know, just like my brother was emphasizing, Uganda and the United States of America, they have bilateral agreements. And I've not had any of these two countries, I've not had Uganda terminating such agreement. I've not had USA terminating such. So when we hear maybe a senior official coming out like that, of course we can get concerned. I know even them they've got concerned, but this doesn't mean that that should deteriorate our working relationship. For me, what I would emphasize, I will not dwell on discussing the key tenets in these issues. I would emphasize that to ensure that our diplomatic processes and communication should follow the proper way of handling things, like they've done in the past, and we also need for that because and also whenever you hold a public office, you're holding it in the interest of the people, and any slight, any statement you make, it can come with its own challenges, its own repercussions. So, but I wouldn't want us as a country that we discuss, we concentrate on the negativity of the issue. Let us find a way of how we can resolve our issues.
Does it have any positivity in it?
I'm saying...
We are looking at the threats.
UPC as a party, we are part of dialogue. We are part of engagement. And we believe if we want to cause harmony and peace, we need to employ those two: engagement, dialogue, and reach a consensus. So that's the only way you can have harmony and peace in this country.
Mr. Muze, I want to introduce you to the reality.
I know.
No, this is the reality, because what you're discussing,
you don't know. The ideal, first of all, the reality.
It's like you don't want, you are deliberately, blindfolding yourself.
No,
let me introduce the reality.
You asked me how to get out of this. How should
let me
get
introduce
out of this?
it. Let me introduce the reality.
I have read all those.
If you may, please.
Yes.
If you may, the reality I want to introduce you to is this: that the current chief of the defense forces,
yes,
is calling upon Ugandans to be prepared that we are going to engage in a confrontation with the United States of America. That's the first reality. Two.
How do you make it a reality?
Two.
It's
the reality.
I'm yet to understand your reality. You're trying
the reality is that Uganda, we've been called on by our CDF that us and the United States of America, things are not good. And so should be awakened.
And what's your role as media? Is to amplify the voice?
I'm not here to sit on the truth like you're trying to do.
I am not.
In fact, as a trained journalist, as a trained journalist, you are falling short of our.
All of us have a.
This is what
a semblance of public relations. But you see, as people that have knowledge, or other people that have the path of public relations, ours is to try and purify and see where we can make.
And he's not doing any spinning. If we go to that,
this is like comparing.
Listen to him. Don't take just a second. If we listen to each other,
the world is watching.
If we can listen to each other,
yes.
Don't take me there, because with all due respect, if we are going to the PR, then Mr. Muze is letting me down, because what we are doing.
I am not here to represent you. I am here to state the fact as it is and how.
I know.
And the alternative.
Because he's saying that the way you are addressing this issue.
I am saying we need the constructive engagement and dialogue to cause harmony, and we live in a peaceful country. Do you agree with that, or?
Because let me tell you,
the reality
is,
you see, Mr. Tim, let him first.
When Muze has told you something that possibly he has seen, because there's been long time confrontation between Uganda and the United States, and it's been Cold War. And one among the few is our CDF. This is not the first statement he's making about the United States. There have been very many other statements that have been made. Two, the relation between Uganda and the United States has been staggering. That's why you saw key players like the China, possibly Russia, and so on coming on board. United States came strong in I think 2011 or 16, came strong on human rights.
Yeah.
And they sent a team here from the Human Rights Watch to come and interact with the president. The president told them that you cannot come and lecture me on anything to do with leadership, governance, and human rights. As of a fact, United States has a lot of human rights violations than any other state.
That's why I was
globally.
coming. That's why I was coming.
And now we're telling you because we've been trying to avoid that. But for me, one thing that we are not finding comfortable here, for a long time now we have had a little bit of peace, where you can wake up one morning and you literally do your things without any, disturbance. Uganda has come from far. We had structures possibly that were running. War came and tore them down a little. We have built these infrastructures with sweat and patience, that at least we have good roads. You can move from Kabale up to Moroto without any problem. You can move from Kampala up to Arua. Arua, by the coming from Arua up to Kampala, it will take you 2 weeks. But all that now has come to a standstill. Libya was one of the biggest economies in Africa, self-funding its economy. Right now, as you go to Libya, it is a skeleton of what it used to be. If the CDF openly through its tweets has come and said that Ugandans, we should expect a very serious confrontation with the United States, it's like saying for us we're sheep.
That's the reality.
We are the sheep. Are you saying that?
Yeah.
The herdsman is saying that in front there are wolves. You as the sheep now get ready. How can the sheep go and confront a wolf?
That's the Thank you, Mr. T. That's the reality. I wanted Mr. Muzeya to address.
Yes.
Because what you're saying, it's as if you think that we have not yet gotten there. But we want to show you that the worst has already been done. And the worst I'm talking about, one, the CDF is telling us that we're going to engage in a confrontation. Two, he has threatened the U.S. envoy, first of all, to apologize or pack the bags and leave. So when you say that you should go through the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, the damage has already been done. As a PR practitioner, how can we reverse this?
Monge, allow me to answer this. And my answers are not yes and in and I keep quiet. My answers come with a preamble. He has just talked about the war in northern Uganda. It took my party president, the Honorable James Mika Akena, and as leaders to go and meet Kony. And it was a risk to go and meet Kony. It was a risk. You either came alive, you either come back alive or dead. You getting? So we know where we have come from as a country. And as UPC, earlier on you were asking me where are we? Our people have gone through. Now we are trying to bring them back and no, let us come back and build our country. So if something has happened, for us, we are not in government. I want you to recognize the fact that we are an opposition political party in government in waiting. So we don't have even the capacity either to bring sanity or to stop this or that. The only thing we can do is to offer a piece of advice where necessary, and also to compliment where things are going well. And in this case, we are trying that the only way we can have this bring sanity and ensure that we enjoy our bilateral agreement, diplomatic relations, is to ensure that we strengthen our ties. And how can we strengthen our ties? It's through engagement. There's no way you're going to strengthen your ties without engaging.
Strengthen and maintain those ties.
Yes. The first process is engagement. If you don't engage, you're doomed for the worst. If you don't dialogue and talk, you're doomed for the worst. If you don't reach a consensus.
What kind of engagement are we talking about? Because also this is
but there are platforms. Here we are discussing, and there are people watching us there. We are giving alternatives. There are platforms. He has talked about the main stakeholders, the Minister of Foreign Affairs. Talk about even the president and other relevant stakeholders. There we have the ambassadors. Even in USA we have our own. In UN we have our own. So we have a number of platforms. And the only way we can have this, restore sanity, restore harmony, have peace, is through engagement, dialogue. There's nothing else. And as UPC, as an opposition political party, and going to vie for election, for the presidency in 2026, that's our election. Okay. We want to ensure that we have peace in the country. We want to ensure that here you're operating your business as media personality when you enjoy all your rights. So even if something has gone wrong, how should we go about it? You know, all of us have challenges. But the way, as I conclude, the way you handle such matters determines your destination. And for us, we don't want to go a rough way. If you go a rough way, it will determine our rough destination.
First of all, for us Ugandans, we have a lot on our heads.
Yes.
Politically, we are
Hold it there, Mr. Tim. We are going to discuss that
we
after
are
this
affected.
break. Don't go
Socially,
away.
we are not destroying this country.
The dialogue continues after this break.
Academically,
Don't
ways.
go.
Why do you want to bring us to war?
We don't want the war.
Discover delicacy at Cafe 2, your all-in-one destination. Whether it's the perfect cup of coffee or a satisfying meal, we got you covered. Indulge your cravings with our mouth-watering pilau, savoury katogo, crispy chips, and tender chicken. Explore a world of cocktails and fresh juices for a truly special treat. Planning an event? Choose Cafe 2 for top-notch outside catering services. Benefit from ample parking, stay connected with Wi-Fi, and catch your favorite matches on DSTV. Cafe 2 offers food deliveries in and around Kampala. Hosting a conference, our center accommodates up to 1,000 people. Need a boardroom for a party or corporate meeting? We've got just the spot for you. We offer a free venue for birthdays and baby showers, providing complimentary photography. For those aspiring to become professional baristas, our barista school awaits you. Visit us at Albany Center, Level 2 on Ginger Road. Cafe 2, where every occasion becomes a memorable experience.
Amannya gange ntibwa Sulaina Nakachwa nga nkola ne BF Suma. Abaami batawanyizibwa obulwadde bwa prostate, tujjanjaba obulwadde bwa prostate enlargement. Otegeera otya ng'olina obulwadde bwa prostate? Okubeera ng'ofuka olumizibwa, okulumizibwa wansi w'olubuto, okufuka omusulo nga gulimu olusaayisaayi, okulumizibwa omugongo, experman capsules kyekuyamba okubeera ng'otambula bulungi mu kisenge. Kugamba amakane gabeera nga masanyufu. Experman coffee naye kuyambako. Tulina product ez'enjawulo kwega zijjanjaba obulwadde bwonna obw'enjawulo. Nti omuntu yenna ali eyo bw'obeera n'obulwadde obukusumbuwa, nkubirako namba zange ez'essimu onyinyonnyole oba ojje tukwataganye. Tulinawo ne badokita ab'enjawulo. Tulina obujjanjabi obulungi. BF Suma yatuleetera product ennungi ziri nakyo 100% tezirina buzibu bwonna. Tulina branch nyingi naye nze ndi wano ku Mabirizi. Osanga discount ennungi gye bampa okusobola okutuusaako abantu bange product zonna bonna basobole ozikozesa. Tukola ne delivery bw'oba tosobodde kujja. Ennamba z'essimu eri 0758 69 29 61.
Brighter life, better future.
Uliyunga wikakasa ddoboozi lyo wetaaga okutumbula ekitundu eky'omukuyimba kano kekasiireko BTM TV akuleetedde Raise Your Mic yimba ate ensonga za kuyimbira ku live band ngate abawanguzi bakwewangulya ebirabo eby'enjawulo okuli obukadde bw'ensimbi 5 pikipiki kapyata okulikodinga nyimba mu audio ne vidiyo n'ebirabo ebirala bingi. Obwetaba mu Raise Your Mic genda ku simu yo nyiga *247*007# olondeko option ya Raise Your Mic olondeko option ya Participate osindike message butereevu ojja kuba weetabe mu auditions wano ku BTM TV. Abaana babayiseemu ku mutendera oguddako bakulondebwa abalabi baffe aba BTM era beewangulira ebirabo biwugiddwa Simba Automotives ne bikutuusibwako BTM TV.
Thank you so much for staying with us. You're still watching The Dialogue with me, Derisa Mwonge. Here with my think tanks, my guests, Mr. Tim Levia Konapesa from the extreme end, and Mr. Mose Faizo here. He happens to be the head of the media and communications at the Uganda People's Congress. And we are discussing something which person I feel so much concerned about. Because, I should be. Because for a long time, we've seen America, we've seen, and I'm saying this not related to what we've been discussing. But America, we've seen a country that has destroyed countries of the world. This I can tell. We've seen America, which has been, you see now it penalizes people in their countries, accusing them of, disrespecting and violating human rights. But I want to ask myself, who established the Guantanamo Bay? We've had men have themselves castrated. We've had men, when they leave that prison, they have some of their limbs not functioning properly. Now, I've just remembered that after, this tweet, what we've been discussing about General Muhoozi Kainerugaba, where he's not happy with how the envoy of America to Uganda, is frustrating the efforts of the NRM. That's what General Muhoozi said in his tweet. And after that, also called us upon as Ugandans, preparing us that we're going to engage in a confrontation with the United States of America. But it's not the first time General Muhoozi has been, tweeting. For a long time he has tweeted. He has put our, diplomatic relations with some countries of the world in jeopardy. You remember what he said about the Tigray rebels of Ethiopia, where he showed support for them. You remember when he said that we could attack Kenya and beat them in just a space of 2 weeks. He said that. You remember what he said about the M23 in Congo? He was exhibiting support for them. Now, this reminded me of when at one time came out and tweeted like that he will leave Twitter. We have this discussion. Twitter is not a problem. The problem is what you are tweeting about. Okay, I don't know what that is about. My producer, I'm really confused. But there's somewhere where he was saying that, he could talk about other countries and parties and politics. So Uganda is something he should not. All right then. Those were tweets from our president. President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, thank you. There he was cautioning, General Muhoozi about tweeting. And he was saying, like we quote there, talking about other countries and partisan politics of Uganda is something he should not do. And he will not do it. I want to tell my president that he has done it again. Mr. Oti Melivi Akona Pesa.
You see,
the son is going against his father's way.
You see, I did not want to mention this, but with time, there's been rather conflicts, not only with politically, but also with some top shots in this country. CDF exchange with the command of the Percy, I think you know Percy. That is his brother-in-law. Has been that
as the biggest thief in the country. That's how it
termed the biggest thief in the country. I always like his open mind in trying possibly to identify and then name some of the things that are possibly affecting our country. But in diplomacy, you have to have some level of reserve in how you handle things. And every step you take as a leader should be calculated, knowing the impact you are going to create, not only for you as an individual, but the whole economy or the whole country. The CDF tweeting, possibly the statement, has now put the president at loggerheads with the United States. And the United States doesn't take any information lightly. When you look at, when you do studies and you look at Israel and their intelligence agency, that is the Mossad. Mossad always dwells on what they call coded messages. Now, coded messages, they always use what they call the NACA. Then is it the NACA? That's how they refer to their messages. Any information that is directed towards a particular country is always put into scrutiny. They bring experts to try and assess and analyze what do these statements indicate or mean. And the United States equally has a very strong relation with Israel. But I don't want to talk about war because we're not in that. We're just talking about information that is being, dispelled from us as a country to the United States. You have the CIA that always handles this. And now, whatever that he has posted he has now done it on behalf of Ugandans, because he has a public office, sure, and is serving the interests of the Republic of Uganda. That is the Chief of Defense Forces. That is a very big position, and it should be a position that is non-partisan. So the president possibly, or that statement that we have seen there, saying that there is a certain way you should not only comment, because you tend to become partisan in the way you do, or rather run the policies, or rather run the affairs of your office. The statements that have been made have been registered by the United States, and it's a threat on their embassy, on their U.S. ambassador. We had the previous ambassador that was also faulted, and she was transferred. We had Malak that came, and it was in the time of the LGBT. She faced her own problems of being facilitation. Actually, when the DGF,
yeah, DGF
was banished from here, we had the ambassador at that time also leave, and we had another ambassador. That was that lady that came. So we have a new ambassador that has come. I think he has not even spent, has he spent even a year?
September.
Last year. So he has not even finished up to a year. And you're already seeing the confrontation that is between him and one of the senior government officials in the country. Military official. Actually, he's handling the whole defense force, department of the Republic of Uganda.
The man at the helm of the
now,
UPDF.
the United States will not take those words lightly. That you are threatening to deport the ambassador by 9 a.m. on a Monday. That is something the United States will not take lightly.
That is how serious this matter is.
And then we as a country have also been put into jeopardy, or rather we have also been put into the picture, and saying that Ugandans, we should expect a serious confrontation. We as some Ugandans that already know the escalation of what this can, or rather the effect of what this escalation can cause. Some of us might not be in position to fall in, but rather we would opt for peace. Because if the United States comes, it comes in all angles. First comes to break down the political systems of your country. It will come for the economical aspect, or rather the economical, being. They call it economic sabotage. If you have read the Confessions of the Economic Assassins, you know what I'm talking about.
But as we discussed that, sorry.
The social aspects of it.
Sorry for
we have a lot of infiltration. By the way,
as we discussed that.
No, as I add on
we are
to
going to
this.
discuss it as a whole.
Yes.
Let me point this out to you. Because what you're discussing, every person, including myself, who doesn't work with the government, I know how serious this is. But we've not seen the president or the Minister of Foreign Affairs we've been talking about. They've not come out to produce a statement on this. When Muhoozi tweeted about Nairobi, about Kenya, President Museveni came out very fast and he apologized to Kenyans. We've not seen that happen when Muhoozi talks about deporting the envoy of the U.S. mission to Uganda, whereby it is the head of the state, that is the President of the Republic of Uganda.
And what's the process?
Who first accepts the credentials and then allows this envoy into the country. And now the commander of the defense forces threatens, deporting him, and the president is still quiet. That's why my concern is. Does that mean that the president is in agreement with her?
It is not only your concern. It's concern. I think it's a concern of every Ugandan, because as even I was leaving home today, the messages that were there was like, what is really happening? Are these tweets posted possibly out of a sober mind, or rather there's kind of some problem or influence somewhere? That is what is outside there. And everybody is tensed right now. You know, when one person does something, it affects literally a whole bunch of people that possibly could be following this, you know, emphasis. But let's also give the president room or time. You never know, his response might come this evening or even tomorrow, Sunday.
Okay.
So that's why I told you that I don't want us to preempt what can easily turn out to become possibly something that was induced.
Let me go to Mr. Mzee. Mr. Mzee, your last submission on this.
Diffused by...
We're about to get out of here. I want to pick your last submission.
Yes.
I would repeat that let's give the opportunity, the concerned agencies, to have this handled. And I don't want to argue, like for us as UPC, our business is not always in the media, but we're on the ground doing work. So maybe government is trying to handle it in a diplomatic way, of which diplomacy, we know how is the process. These envoys, as you already said, they are always accepted by the Fountain of Honor, accepted. We have diplomatic ties, we have the Minister of Foreign Affairs, we have the embassies, we have the ambassadors. So we believe, and I must emphasize that all those processes have not been terminated. But challenges are there, I want to agree. So the way how we manage them also matters a lot. So I want to emphasize that let's find a harmonious way of handling our affairs for the betterment of this country. And
as you speak like that, are you speaking to General Mohozi?
I'm not speaking to. I'm not the appointing authority.
Who are you speaking to? I mean,
Minister of Foreign Affairs.
Because I don't think that is directed
if
to
we
your team.
If we say government, we speak directly. In this case, Minister of Foreign Affairs, and in this case, even the president. They are the key stakeholders. And for us, what we want, in specific as UPC, we want peace, harmony, to ensure that we do our business peacefully. We don't want on top of what we have, what we carry on our heads. We don't want again to add on other burdens, of which burden would be even solved in a harmonious way. So we have a lot on table. People are not schooling. Tuition fees is high. Every school is charging their own fees. We lived in the economy. They privatized everything. Everything's in the market forces. So that's why we as UPC that we don't go back to the roots. We need to embrace the economic model, a mixed economic model of UPC, whereby we incorporate the government incorporates the industry, the peasants, the workers, so that we contribute to the development of this country.
You talked about the UPC as the part in waiting.
Yeah.
The government in waiting, rather.
But we actually independence. You know that. When we had the first UPC government, the second UPC government, which was overthrown by Okero, and then later also we are moved by NRA. And you see, a lot has been, a lot have happened, but we don't want to portion our blame on people. All of us we are telling our countrymen and the men that the reality is there for you to see. Okay. And we are back here again to give you the service which you tested and also improve that fits in our time. That everyone has the opportunity to serve. And the president is coming. I want to re-emphasize this, that the president is going to stand. Our message is issue-based. It's not about people. We want to tell our people what we're going to work for them. Issue to do with health, issue to do with the opportunities, issue to do with education. Yeah, those are the things. And they're there to see.
I thank you so much. Gentlemen, thank you so much, Mr. Tim Levy, Akona Pesa, for spending time with us here. Thank you so much, Mr. Mzee. Faiza, thank you so much, our dear viewers. We've come to the end of this edition of The Dialogue. Thank you so much for moving with us. That is what we do. Because we love our country, we are patriotic. And like I keep saying, it is everybody's responsibility to keep this country intact. Every time we get an opportunity, I call upon you to engage in what can help to elevate this country from one stage of development to another. And that's why we also come here. And we express our concerns over what we feel is not going on well in this country. And we do respect everybody. That is very, very important to know. Till we meet again, goodbye for now and see you then.
This is BTM. We transform.
Uganda, your #1 leading education newspaper, is back, bigger and better. With articles to fully suit the educational triangle from the government, schools and parents all over the country, aiming at answering the ever left out questions, not forgetting revision questions and answers set by experienced teachers to prepare students for their finals. The Lana newspaper is supplied to over 12,068 schools all over the country with affordable advertising rates. We offer many more services which include uniform and sweater tailoring, all with an aim of easing work for the educationists. Contact us on 0754 777 029 or 0774 621 539. Email us on info@lananews.com or visit our website at www.lananews.com. You can also visit our offices at City Center Complex, Room J15, 4th floor, along Loom Street. The Lana, prioritizing education.
Coming soon on BTM.
Hi everyone, welcome to Kids World, where every Sunday is packed with adventure and learning.
That's right, we have so much in store for you, from book reading.
Good morning, Bella. And remember, no running.
Fun activities. And even a spelling bee.
Your word is apprehensive.
And don't forget, we have trending cartoons and news.